Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is not usual stuff I do, but I'm gonna be reacting to so she actually takes bodyguards to school, which is kind of weird, but let's start reacting.
Something that I've always wished for is just to be like all of my other classmates. But there is something special about me that makes me stand out. I attend school in the presence of bodyguards who follow me everywhere.
First of all, I wish I had bodyguards to go to school. That would be super cool.
So let me tell you more about my life. My parents are the owners of a very large building company, which is a real estate developer in 10 countries of the world.
So they're literally walking on the earth.
Amounts to millions of dollars, and therefore they have many ill-wishers. I started the first grade in an expensive private school. My parents decided that it would be easier for me to socialize among the children from rich and powerful families. But in a month after the start of my studies, I was kidnapped. I'm terrified to remember everything that I had to go through then.
How did no one see that? Everyone was in the school and she just literally got kidnapped. Outrageous.
And I really thank fate for the fact that it's all over now. After this incident, for some time I hadn't left the house at all. Only some of my friends who lived in the neighborhood and were allowed to visit me could save me from isolation. So I spent the period of time from
She doesn't have the COVID. She doesn't have the coronavirus. Get out from your house. I know you just got kidnapped, but you still gotta get out of your house.
4th grade.
I tell these bears please get me out of here.
Then the gilded cage became too small for me, and I asked my parents with tears in my eyes to send me to an ordinary school with ordinary students near our house. My parents thought for a while, and then they agreed, but on one condition, namely that I would
go. Their parents are so rich. Well, they're kind of bragging about it because she wants us to go to a super expensive school. But it's okay. Let's
school
keep going.
Accompanied by bodyguards. At the time, I didn't think anything of it, but I had no idea what I would have to face because of it. So my 5th grade year started in the company of 2 bodyguards who were forbidden to take even one step away from me. These were 2 huge, muscled, tough guys with stony faces. Can you imagine the reaction of my classmates to such a sight? Yes.
They're you guys know that the soldiers from London, you stand in front of the Queen gates and they never move. Yeah, they're like that. Okay, let's get back into the video.
You are right. They began to shrink from me like the plague and look at me with condemning glances. And that wasn't just my only problem. On the first day, I realized that I could not go to the bathroom at school because the security was forbidden to leave me, but they couldn't enter the ladies' room as well. I called my mother in tears and told her about my problem. She replied that she and Dad hadn't thought of that either, so they needed some more time to find a female bodyguard, and I had to stay at home for another month while they were searching for the right person. When I returned to school, I realized that I was far too behind in the curriculum, so I began to feel myself not only different, but also the most stupid pupil in the class. Again, it took a while to catch up to my classmates and end the mockery of my level of knowledge. But within half a year, I realized that my main problem was that I was an outsider in this class, in the company of my peers. Everyone else had friends, companions.
Okay, guys, so she's literally missing school, skipping school, and she's actually calling herself dumb.
Somebody to share secrets with. And all my communication was limited to the woman with muscles throughout her body and the man who could break bricks with his head. What kind of friends could I...
That's true. A man can break bricks with his head? Damn. She's gonna be strong.
My bodyguards didn't leave my side. Even the most sociable and friendly girls in the class stayed away from me and were afraid to come up to me. I really regretted that I had started all of this. It was better to continue my studies at home. Then I would not have to feel like the odd one out. But there was no...
She didn't tell us. Wait. She didn't tell us that she was getting homeschooled. And she called over herself dumb. This makes no sense.
Turning back, which meant that I would have to continue my studies at school. Once, studying in the 9th grade, I finally decided to become an ordinary girl like everyone else, at least for a few hours. I heard that my classmates were going to visit a museum after school, and then go to the cafe and eat delicious burgers there. I was deprived of such joys because the food had always been delivered directly to our house, or my parents and I could have dinner at restaurants. And as for museums, I'd never been to any of them. So I decided that I would escape
Wait,
everywhere.
Mom, come
On
on,
one-
quickly. I
Dad,
did something
again,
else.
it took a while to
Wait, guys.
join my classmates. I wanted to spend all evening with them, and then
Okay, I
had
think I'm
always been
gonna
delivered
Okay.
to come up to me. I really regretted that I had started all of this.
Sorry about this. I think I have to go.
Once, studying in the
Okay,
9th grade,
now
I
we can
finally
go back
decided
here.
to become an ordinary girl like everyone else, at least for a few hours. I heard that my classmates were going to visit a museum after school,
Wait,
and then go
something
to the cafe and eat delicious
she's never
burgers
been
there.
to the
I
cafe.
was
It
deprived
literally
of
says
such joys
pizza.
because the food
Pizza
had always
up
been
there.
delivered directly to
It
our
says
house,
pizza. So
or my
they
parents and I
serve
could have
pizza,
dinner
not
at restaurants.
burgers.
And as for
That's just
museums,
crazy.
I had never been to any of them. So I decided that I would escape from the bodyguards and join my classmates. I wanted to spend
She'd be
all
like
evening with
quick
them
as the
and then
flash.
return
She'd
home.
like,
Could I afford it for
she'd be like,
myself at least once? During lunch, I spilled a bowl of soup on the female bodyguard as if it was an accident. And while she was in the bathroom, I told the second bodyguard that I saw a man outside the dining room that was peering in and looking at me. When the second bodyguard went to see who was there, I opened the window, jumped out of it, and ran to the school gates as quickly as I could. A few minutes later, I was outside the school grounds. Finally, I got my
so it
freedom.
took that long to get out of the
But I
bathroom.
forgot to take into account the fact that, unlike my classmates, I had no experience moving around the city by myself. I did not know where the museum was located and how to get there.
Then why did
So
you
I decided
firstly
to go there by
decide
taxi.
to go?
Probably the driver would know the address, and all I had to do was say the name of the museum. I was lucky because a taxi just happened to drive up to the bus stop. The passengers got out of it, and I immediately got in their place. The museum turned out to be very far from the school, and we drove to it for almost an hour. During this time, calls
That's
from
so
the bodyguards
far.
and then
Like
from
far
my
to my
parents
future, but I
started
had
to
a
come
few
to my phone.
years ago.
They were so annoying. Actually, I thought that I didn't need the phone at all because no one else called me except for them. So I opened the window and threw the phone away. When we arrived at the museum,
So she has
I
no
realized
friends.
to my horror that I had absolutely no money with me. The taxi driver demanded that I pay for the trip, and I was numb with fear.
Yeah, Mrs.
I had
Storm
never been in such an
from
awkward
X-Men,
situation before and
Baldy.
did not know what to do. I didn't even have a phone to ask my parents to help me. Then the taxi driver himself pointed at my watch and told me to give it to him as payment for the trip. Well, the problem was solved. However, it was not the last of my problems. I still did not have money, and therefore I could not pay for the entry into the museum. Also, I did not even know whether my classmates were there or not. After standing at the entrance for several minutes, I decided to just walk around the city and enjoy my freedom. I was hoping to ask for a phone from one of the passersby after a couple of hours and call my parents so they could come get me. I
Okay.
walked along the beautiful avenues
So
and
almost all
crowded
of them
streets.
eyes are
The
like
street seller treated me with cotton
so
candy,
big.
and this added bright colors to my day. Wandering around the city without my parents and without bodyguards was so cool. I wanted to breathe in deep in order to remember the smell
breathe
of
the deep
freedom.
air of your fart.
After a while, I was tired, so I
I'm
sat on
kidding,
a
guys.
bench near a lonely girl who was reading a book and asked her to borrow a phone.
Okay. Wait, I'm just gonna try this.
In order to remember the smell of freedom.
What? She's literally just
After a
flipping through the
while, I was
book.
tired, so I sat on a bench near a lonely girl who was reading a
Flipping
book
through the
and
book.
asked her to borrow a phone.
So you're gonna flip through the book.
Then I called my parents and asked them to pick me up. My bench neighbor sent them my location and then left, and I stayed to wait for them. Honestly, I did not think that I had done anything terrible, and I was sure that my parents would not scold me. I didn't do anything bad. I just decided to give myself a holiday.
Yeah,
Taking
she
a
decided
break
to take
from
a
it all.
break.
I was wrong. My parents showed up with the police within 10 minutes. They were so angry and even started yelling at me, although they had never yelled at me before. It turned out that my watch had a GPS sensor, so that my parents always knew my whereabouts.
Get your prescriptions
Hey
delivered
guys,
at CVS.
what's going on? Boof! Out of here.
Hi guys, today I'll show you the new crazy way to get
Oh
free
my god, this is so
books.
fake.
Hear me out.
Let's
This is not a
1, 2,
generator.
3.
This is not a fake.
Boof! Easy, guys.
After it became clear that I had escaped, they began to chase the taxi driver and later detained him with my watch. The poor taxi driver tried to justify himself and explain the situation, but of course, no one believed him. My parents and the police were sure that he did something terrible to me, and that's why he had my personal watch. I was very sorry for the innocent man. I did not even think that I could cause him such an inconvenience.
Yeah, woman.
But after all, my parents had not been honest with me either. I had already been under continuous watch, and they decided to also install a spy device, keeping it secret from me.
Really?
They could at least have warned me about it. However, that was not all. Due to the fact that my bodyguards had lost track of me, my dad fired them on the spot. But after all, I deceived them myself. It turned out that they were punished because they trusted me. I was so sorry for all of the
Wait,
people which suffered because of what I had done. That evening, my parents and I had a serious talk. In my mind, this
Fight.
talk was a long time coming.
Fight,
I
fight,
explained
fight.
my position to them and told them that it was very difficult for me to
Okay,
be
so
a
thank you
hostage.
guys and for watching.
cage.
And
I
if you
told
guys
them
want to
that I
watch
had
part
grown
2,
up
that's
and I
just the
wanted at
rest
least a little
of it.
freedom.
So thank you for
In
watching.
turn.